We're friends and neighbors, gather to have a drink and a laugh and figure out how to solve all of the problems of the world. That's right.
I think we should do a high five. We did good.
Welcome to Dee's Country Cocktail Lounge for our first live podcast. It starts off our second season of Front Porch AF, and it's wonderful to see all our friends and neighbors and new friends and neighbors here to start the second season of this podcast. Let's see. The first thing that we do is we chat.
Yes, we chat. What are you having to drink today, Sue?
Okay. Have you met me? It's vodka. Vodka.
Thanks, Blake, for mixing these just right.
Yeah. Thank you, Blake. Thank you, Blake, for mixing. And what is it you have there?
I'm having a Miller Lite. But my Huggy today is, I picked this one special because this was knitted by one of our listeners, Stacy, from Washington. She's up in Tacoma, Washington. And she's an OG listener and sent this to me in the mail. So I thought it was appropriate for our kickoff of season 2.
Yeah. And so thank you, listeners. And this is where we give you a little teaser about what's coming up in the rest of the show, or introduce the topic. The topic is, we started our second season, we're still alive, but our very, very, very special guest who's going to join us in a little bit is Elizabeth Cook. And we'll give you a fuller, more apt introduction later on. After we finish, and we've got to get right to it.
Neighborhood notes.
Neighborhood notes. Should I go first?
You should go first.
Okay. A lot of you who have been to Dee's before, or who see me post on Fridays, know that there's something called Snack Friday. A couple of years ago, one of the bartenders, Masha, and I were hungry, and the kitchen hadn't opened yet, and we started bringing snacks. And it has kind of expanded, and you never know. There's no set. I mean, one day you can have all brownies, and one day nobody can bring anything. But one of the top contributors is my connection to my favorite fast food seafood restaurant in the world, Captain D's. In fact, it is true. I even won a sweater, a Captain D's sweater in a raffle. Pictures are on the web. Oh, by the way, what's our website, Kelly?
www.frontporchaf.com.
And you don't have to say the www anymore. I mean, welcome to the 21st century.
Thanks, Boomer.
Is this the 22nd century? Anyway, so Braun, my Captain D's guy, was talking at the bar a little while ago, and he said, we have opened up our very first Captain D's in the United Kingdom, and it's in Kent. And I went, oh, mother of God, I'm going to England in September. I just extended our stay. Our cruise lands at Southampton on September 13th. I changed our flight back to Nashville from the 13th to the 14th. I just rented a car and got a hotel a block away from the first Captain D's in the United Kingdom in Kent.
Oh my gosh. I think that's probably one of the most American things you can do. Is to go to Europe and go to a fast food restaurant.
So, we will Facebook it live. Mark, you've got to learn how to Facebook it live. Anyway, if you're around on Fridays, come on in. It's random snacks.
It's
great. At 3 o'clock at happy hour.
It's a good time as had by all.
And Amy brought lasagna last week. Oh. And my second neighborhood note, and this is a true neighborhood note. Kelly and I have a neighbor.
In common.
And sometimes our mail gets mixed up. And as we were leaving to come to the show today, I stopped and got the mail. Joyce, I have your mail, and I will be delivering it to your mailbox on the way home from the show. Not to worry. So that's our neighborhood note from beautiful downtown Madison, out on the Bend.
That's your neighborhood note.
That is my neighborhood note. But you have one or two yourself.
I have a couple. I mean, it's the end of deer season, and I just want everybody to know the best time of the year is coming up soon because the bucks start losing their antlers, so we can start looking for sheds. We can go out in the woods. That's really fun. can tell. I really hear her face like,
she promises she won't shoot Bambi. That's all I ask.
But more exciting notes. I took my Mini X out for a drive.
Please explain to everybody what a Mini X is, because
a mini excavator, right? It's got a big bucket on the front arm. Excavator. So I took it down to my friend Robin's, who's Cecile Richards.
The founder of Planned Parenthood.
Yes.
Yes.
So I took Cecile down to Robin's, and we dug out a ditch and she needs to have some drainage stuff going on. But I was thinking, retirement plans, and I'm thinking I'm gonna start a burial service. No questions asked. Burial service. So just give me a holler.
Kelli at frontporchaf.com.
Yeah, the only other thing is I did get to use my chainsaw recently over Christmas. The best Christmas present I ever had.
And how many chainsaws does this make?
I've got 5. I had 5.
And there's a chainsaw in the raffle that's going on back here. I am going to buy as many tickets as I possibly can to win that damn chainsaw.
Good for you. Yeah, I'm scared for you to use it. But anyway, Steph and Beth, thanks for letting me climb up that tree and cut that limb down off your fence. And that's the end of my neighborhood news.
That's the end of it. We usually have lost cows. We have a lot of what is that helicopter doing above our neighborhood? If anybody's on a Facebook neighborhood chat, when somebody will post, why is the helicopter flying over Old Hickory Boulevard and Gallatin Road? No, I know. I mean, those are things, we also have a favorite podcast called I've Had It. And they do things like that.
Yeah.
I've had it with people asking these ineffable questions to Facebook. Like, why is there air?
Good question. So what's in our mailbag then?
The first thing in our mailbag is, we found out a few weeks ago that Pete Hegseth is our neighbor.
In Goodlettsville.
In Goodlettsville.
Or Hendersonville.
No, it's Goodlettsville.
It's Goodlettsville. Okay.
It's Goodlettsville. Public knowledge, Tennessean did a report on it. He's got a big compound up there. And we made mention of this fact on socials, and somebody accused us of doxing Pete Hegseth just because we said he was our neighbor and he lived in Goodlettsville's a really big place. It's not like we gave his phone number out or anything. And so what we did was we did a little video inviting Pete Hegseth to come to our porch. We put it out about a week ago. Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything from him.
I have not heard anything.
We're still waiting.
But Pete, if you're out there, Sue at frontporchaf.com.
I'm sure he's listening. I'm sure he's streaming us live right now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that's what he's doing. And the other mailbag, and this is awful. She refers to me as the tech.
You are the
techie person, because I do all this stuff. And I didn't check an email account that I had set up at the beginning of this. I totally forgot about it. Totally forgot about it. And about 3 days ago, I realized, oh, wait a minute, there's an email sitting there from 4 months ago.
Lord have mercy, Sue.
From 4 months ago. And I wrote her right back, and I said, oh, I am so sorry. She had the nicest things to say about me then. So I'm still waiting for a response. But that's the end of our mailbag. That's the end of our mailbag. It is the end of our mailbag. Guess what we get to do now?
We're going to invite our special guest. We're going to introduce and then bring her up on the stage. Right?
Okay. However you want to do it. You've got to move to do this,
Yes, I'm going to switch seats.
Okay, because I would like to have access to our special guest too, but if Kelli is sitting right there, it means she's going to hog our special guest.
Hardly, Sue. Okay, everybody, this is really exciting. Elizabeth Cook is here with us, and Elizabeth, David Letterman says, my guest today needs no introduction, and he's talking about Elizabeth Cook. She is East Nashville outlaw, musician, spinner of records and tall tales, film artist, clogger, fisherman. She's got her own clothing line, and she's just all around badass, right? You might not know this, but everybody that's a singer doesn't get started as a singer. She started as an accountant at Price Waterhouse. And then, but she did sing very early in life. As a teenager, she put out a 45. And on the B side of that, the title track was, "Does My Daddy Love the Bottle More Than He Loves Me?" Oh, goodness. And one thing we might not know about, she is also the voice of Tammy on the Adult Swim cartoons series Squidbillies. But her daddy really was a moonshiner. She's been the guest on the Grand Ole Opry over 400 times. Wow, that's pretty awesome. She has, since her first demo album in 2000, from her most recent to Aftermath, she's really pushed the boundaries in what country music is, and really made it with her own voice. And I discovered Elizabeth Cook through listening to Nancy Griffith. And in the words of Nancy Griffith, Elizabeth Cook is this young generation's Loretta Lynn. You haven't heard anything until you've heard Elizabeth Cook. She's brilliant and absolutely magnificent and sings Lou Reed like a country song. So thank you, Elizabeth, for being with us. Come on up.
May I interject here? This is the woman who's the only reason I pay money for SiriusXM. Apron strings.
Apron strings.
Every day, 11 a.m. Central. There you go.
Oh, thank you guys.
Hey, thanks for coming and hang with us.
Well, I just want to sit and listen. I don't need to do shit, really. I don't feel like, so.
You've come to the right place.
Yeah, good. It's great. I love not doing shit.
Well, we're going to have to talk about something, though.
Oh, God.
Go for it.
Okay, here we go, right? So, Sue and I met over
because of roadkill.
There was a dead deer in her driveway, and I knew it was just dead. And I went, and she was trying to figure out how to get it taken care of. And I'm thinking, I hope this lady will let me get this deer out of her driveway. So I go over with my tractor and front end loader, and she's like, "Yeah, get the deer." But I think you have a story about roadkill, don't you?
Yeah, man, I don't know where this is public, but I'm impressed that you found it. I went to college at the higher institution of learning that is Georgia Southern University. And so Bullitt County in Statesboro, Georgia, where Georgia Southern is a dry county, which is so ironic. And we used to have to drive to the county line to get liquor. But on Friday nights, we would often convoy a short 45-mile drive on I-16 between Statesboro and Savannah, Georgia, where it is not dry, quite wet, and we would proceed to have a great time. So we were coming back in from a Friday night in Savannah into our apartment complex, total convoy of my college roommates, all girls, and I pulled in, and then my roommate pulled in behind me, and she said, "Hey, was that deer on the road when you pulled in?" I said, "No, I didn't see a deer." And she said, "It's fresh." We didn't have a truck. We had I had a Dodge Daytona. She had a Honda Accord because her family was way classier than mine. But our neighbors had a truck. So we asked, "Hey, can we borrow your truck?" And we went and we got the deer. I mean, she's I'm way prissier than her. But she was like my badass redneck roommate. And really the only reason my parents would let me go away from home off to a city, Statesboro, to college was if I roomed with her. Her name's Star. So the only way I could go is if I roomed with Star. So we get the neighbor's truck, we go and get the deer, pull it up into the back. She somehow managed to skin it out in the back of the truck. We had coolers. She quartered it. Yeah. We salt watered it, and then we chunked it, and we got a keg, and we had a cookout for the whole apartment complex. It was perfect. Yeah. The law came that night, and which wasn't unusual, but they showed up and we just we literally gave them a paper plate full of fried deer meat, and they were like, "All right, well, y'all just keep it down."
Oh, goodness, that's perfect. Well, I didn't have the cops call, but we did fry that deer meat up.
That time you didn't have the cops called. Just that time you didn't have the cops called.
That time. Anyway, next question. It's kind of a similar theme, but like you have a fishing show. Like, how do you get a fishing show?
Okay, this is how. So when I first went on David Letterman the first time, which was not a musical performance, it was an interview, which I didn't understand at all why I was it was a really like kind of a mental health crisis for me. I didn't understand it, but I did that. And then in the wake of that interview, I got a sitcom deal with CBS. And then in the wake of that, it's like the music business on crack. So, deals come, deals go, there's meetings, there's luncheons, all this different stuff happens. I find myself in these boardrooms over and over again with people saying, well, what kind of TV show do you want to make? And I'm like, man, I ain't never thought about making a TV show. I'm a musician and I'm sorry, I don't think about TV shows, And so I finally came up with an answer because what was something in my mind that I wish I had more time to do, that I didn't have time to do, that if they're going to put cameras on something and they don't have any fucking ideas, I said, well, I want a fishing show so I can fish while I work, basically. So when the Opry launched their network, that was brief in its existence, I believe, but I was approached by a producer for the network, and they said, hey, you still want to do that fishing show? I was like, hell yeah, I want to do that fishing show. So I get them there. They pay for renting boats, guys, the bait. I ain't got to do shit. It's awesome. So,
do you think we could pitch a roadkill fishing show?
I don't see why not. I mean, I feel like probably the waning government agencies that have to get stuff off the road would appreciate the help.
So it's right up our alley.
Yeah, that's right. It's a win-win-win.
It is win-win.
So good. Well, a little bit, just to kind of get into the music and your artistic career. In the past, let's just say since COVID, like we've had major losses in really great singer-songwriters from Prime to recently Todd Snider. Like, how has that been, how does that weave into your career and affect your music, your creative process and all that?
I mean, I spent really making an extra effort to spend a lot of time with my artist community and artist friends right now in the music space. And, I think we keep presenting it, I keep trying to present it as a call to arms. There's to me, the whole idea of like filling their shoes. Nobody can fill the shoes of John Prine or Billy Joe Shaver or Jerry Joe Falker or Todd, but we have our own shoes, and to develop those and to become a lane that keeps people connected to the world and to their life and to their feelings and everything through music is a beautiful responsibility, and something that I feel like we all need to be working towards and taking more and more seriously. And like that speaks to like Todd's approach. He really pushed sort of the frontal image of being a complete and total wreck, which is not inaccurate, and being always like smoking weed and all the stuff, and all that was true. But in tandem with that was a prolific work ethic that was unparalleled. And so to me, I feel like that's something that we can do with our energy in the grief, is just to try and continue to mine out the music and just work towards it every single day in their honor.
That leads me to ask, if somebody comes to Elizabeth Cook through one of your many outlets, what would you want them to listen to see first, to introduce you to a newcomer to Elizabeth Cook?
I mean, that evolves, every probably couple of weeks.
As we're sitting here.
It would be the song I started working on last night, but that's not accessible yet. So, we have to sort of the wait on things to catch up. But probably what's at least about to be most accessible is the film. There's a movie called The Easy Kind that is in part my story, but also hopefully just mirrors the story of a lot of artists that come here, and particularly female artists, and what it's like to be a creative / trying to make it a business at the same time and survive in this environment. And so I feel like that is probably the best reflection of everything right now.
It was at the Telluride Film Festival, wasn't it? Yes.
It was like, there was me and my film people, Hillary Clinton, Angelina Jolie, Will Ferrell, Ken Burns, and it was sort of like, which one of these is not like the other? That'd be us. But yeah, I mean, it was a great time.
Well, we're going to put links to everything on the website. And I know that you've got a tour coming up to support the movie. Am I right?
Yeah, man, like I said, the film business, TV business, that world is the music business on a whole nother, like, sporadic, insane level that is just wild. But yeah, you know, my film director is married to Jack Smith, and so we were about to show the film in New York, and on a certain day for a private press event, and he got subpoenaed to testify in front of Congress that day on TV. So we had to move it. So that kind of thing is like literally what we're juggling with, and that was a lot of information in just a few sentences. But all that to say, we are warriors at this point, and the film is coming this year. There's a couple of distribution deals on the table. We are on the cusp of signing one of them, and there'll be an album announced in tandem with that. So it's like lassoing a tornado right now, but we are trying, and I'm just trying to keep my head in the art space of it and focused on the part of it that's my job, which is connecting with people through these things.
Yeah. So you've mentioned in interviews in the past about being vulnerable. It's that, like, with this project, is that something that was part of that? And like, what risk do you take when you hit that you reach that vulnerability space?
Oh my God! I mean, you know, a lot of extra therapy right now. When it showed at Telluride, I was already in such a foreign environment, feeling like, you know, an exotic white tiger that had been brought in a cage that was too small, you know, and illegally and all that. You know, that was one thing to show it there. As it's gone around film festivals to markets where people may know me from coming to their town and playing shows there, and so different fans come out to see it and stuff, and they're really seeing, you know, the behind the curtain in a big way. And I mean, it's beyond nerve-wracking. You know, your face is 10 feet fucking wide on the screen, and I'm like, oh my God, that's happening. So anymore, the film festivals that it has shown at, I have learned that I show up, I'm there when it starts, I find a nearby bar. I stay in that bar until I'm texted by my manager or the director to, like, hey, time for the Q&A, mosey on over. So that way I'm not sitting and watching it. I did sit through one of the screenings at the Nashville Film Festival, and you know, it's vulnerable, for sure.
I can't even imagine like that.
You mentioned Billy Joe Schaefer, for instance, and other. Who were your mentors? Did you have any? And who are they? Who are the people that made an impression on you?
Well, primarily, I mean, it was my parents, so it would be by proxy of whoever they were directly emulating in their music, because they had a honky tonk band. So, you know, in one light, it's fair to say that my career officially as an adult started out as an accountant, but the truth is I was a stage kid. And my parents made a little project out of me, and they taught me songs. And so the first song that I ever remember learning during their band practices was Hey, Hey, Good Looking, Hank Williams. And I can remember coming home from school and my mother having written out on poster board all of the lyrics to Harper Valley PTA, which, like, most kids were having to memorize The Raven by Edgar, Allan Poe to resuscitate, and I was having to learn all the verses to Harper Valley PTA. So, you know, whoever they were sort of feeding me. So it was all the classic country. It was Patsy Cline, Buck Owens, Loretta Lynn, Tammy Wynette, George Jones. John Anderson was in Florida. Ricky Skaggs' band was out of Florida at that point. My parents used a Pentecostal church as a babysitter that was around the corner, so I would go there. It was a hotbed of Southern gospel music and God knows what else, but a really great time. So there was that musical influence going on, as to where if I wasn't in the honky tonks with my parents' band on Friday night, I was with a Southern gospel band on Sunday morning.
Where did you learn to clog? Because you used to, you would come out and you and your dad would clog. Yeah.
Golly, it's hard to trace that one back as much. I know I took lessons. I know I was in a few official clogging groups. The Okefenokee Swampers was one of the clogging groups I was part of, that we would go and perform at just little civic events and stuff. Like I said, a stage kid, you know, my parents would just, you know, again, my classmates are like going to tap, and my mother puts me in clogging, where I'm like learning how to double toe rock step to Cotton Eye Joe.
All right.
Okay, you DJ every day, Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday, and there's a weekend show. Yeah.
What is country music? Is that what you play?
Whew, that's a loaded question. You know, people just have different feelings on what they think country music is. To some people, it's a very specific sonic expression. It has to have a certain instrumentation around it. To some people, and I think honestly this includes Hank Williams, because I read this as a quote from him, it is being earnest. So to be earnest is country music. Outlaw country is a wonderful place where we're able. Matter of fact, I caught a lot of shit for playing Puddle of Mud this weekend, and it was just a song I liked. I didn't know it was going to be a problem, but anyway, to me, it's just about songs and music and sentiment. And in outlaw country, we go from rockabilly to, you know, the latest luminaries of Americana, to the hardcore singer-songwriters that span generations. And it's a very fruitful place, just full of all kinds of wonders.
Well, speaking of music and songs, Sue and I have a couple of specific questions. And one of your songs that I'm a fan of is called Snake in the Bed. And this is really about a snake, an actual snake in the bed. It's not a metaphorical snake. I just wondered if that really happened.
Yeah, so going back to George Southern, we lived in the most notorious place where we lived, where the roadkill party was thrown and the cops came a lot, was the place called Country Club Villas. And we were about 4 miles off campus, out country roads. Okay. So we did get away with a lot out there. But what did you ask me? My Adderall.
Snake in the bed.
Oh, snake in the bed. Okay, so this was like a townhome. So there were multiple levels, and I was really sick. And we had a couch that was a pull-out bed. Uh-huh. So I decided that I should stay on the pull-out bed downstairs to try and keep from infecting the rest of my roommates. So I was down there. I've been really, really sick, taking just nipping on everything I could get from the drugstore and then some. And my backpack had been sitting over by a sliding glass door, just accumulating my homework. So when the time came that I finally felt well enough that, okay, I'm just going to reorganize, I'm going to figure out and start digging out of all my homework, I dumped out my backpack on that big fold-out bed downstairs. And a little black snake just took off running down my leg. Oh. And I know it. I think it came from the sliding glass door right there. And again, we are in South Georgia. You know, it's a place right for these things. And between that and the cold meds that had me sort of almost in a hallucinogenic state anyway, between that and then an actual snake being in the bed with me, I wrote Snake in the Bed. Yep.
It's a great song.
Thank you.
You know, and on that same album, Welder, yeah. El Camino.
Ah, yeah.
Is he real?
You know,
is that man
I
real?
still think about these things, and I thought about it, occurred to me the other day, and I think that it may have been related to maybe being with somebody that I wasn't supposed to be with. And I'm obviously taking a lot of artistic things. And so at that point, when I wrote that song, I have been jogging around Shelby Bottoms, since you know the cement pond down there.
I do.
Okay, so I was looping the cement pond. And I was down there on a jog with my partner, and I finished before he did, And
Wait,
so,
of course. Never mind.
yeah. So you know how that goes. So I was just kind of sitting there with nothing to do, and I noticed that there were people that seemed to be cruising, and they seemed to be cruising for love. And so there was some MapQuest directions at that time, printed out in the truck, and I got them out and I wrote that song start to finish, just sitting there cooling down from a run at Shelby Bottoms,
Watching the cruisers.
watching the cruisers. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, so Elizabeth, what's up next for you? I know you got the film and everything, but what else is going on?
Yeah, the film, there's going to be a new album this year that we're super close on. I'm so excited and in love to get to play these songs. And then I think my goal is to really, because what happens is I make something like this and then I get really swept up in the promotional cycle of it all, and I tend to step away from the things that made the meat of the project, which is the art part. And so I'm really trying to just make sure I make time to also stay in that zone. So yeah, who knows where it goes from here. We got to get to the other side of, honestly, a movie and an album that has been a shot we've been racking for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
I actually had a question. I don't know why it popped up. I've never heard of a nickname for you. Have you had nicknames over the years?
Yes, and I was just with my family, and they said one that I had forgot. But they called me Peanut because I was born with a waistline.
Oh.
But my daddy always called me Shug,
Shug.
and Todd called me Shug, and that's my tattoo on my wrist is Shug, in case I forget at TSA or whatever. But not really, it's me. Shug.
Shug, that's a good one.
Yep.
Do you venture into cultural commentary, for instance, in your art? Deliberately. Deliberately. Oh, okay, I'm trying to think of. Well, one of my all-time favorite songs is my heroin addicted sister.
Yeah.
How did that come to you?
I mean, the honest story of it is that I remember I was at the 5 Spot and I got the call that, she had been sort of taken to the hospital in Atlanta, and it was close, and, she was probably going to have to do a little jail time after that. And it was honestly just a self-soothing, trying to process it, love song to her.
I know it's one of your favorite songs.
Yeah. I mean, I just.
Favorite may not be the right word, but it's.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's a heart-wrenching song to sing, but it's a love song, and it's an attempt to humanize someone that may just be seen by the world through a really thin lens as troublesome or drug addict or whatever, when there's so much more to a person than that.
Do you, as a public figure, find that people have preconceived notions about you?
Oh yeah.
And how do you even care?
Oh, you know what? I'm just like, my response is like, go harder, make up even more shit. Like, the more the better. Like, just get crazy with it. I think that I definitely went through a period where I was vulnerable to it because of some public perceptions and things that happened around, I guess it was like my divorce, and it was on the heels of a lot of deaths and tragedy that had happened in my family, and I was struggling a lot, and I was struggling in public, and I didn't have an option but to struggle in public because it was my work. And that, landed people with power over my living to make certain decisions where I they made me go to a rehab that ended up being another trauma that I had to fight my way out of. But that was the big takeaway from it, was the way that I had to pull my shit together and stand up for myself when no one believed me anymore. And that was a really, really important moment that gave me a defiance and a strength that maintains me still.
And on that maintaining yourself still, we haven't talked about balls. I mean, not just in general, but we haven't talked about the album and the song. Sometimes it takes balls to be a woman.
Yeah.
Is that your most requested song?
Yeah, probably that and El Camino. That one. I mean, gosh, I think that I came to Nashville as such a good girl, and in such, I got in the Holy Grail. There was no really alternative country music scene. There wasn't really like an Americana scene. There wasn't anything to latch onto. The only thing you could do here to try and have a career was to get a major label record deal. So I went for that, and I got that twice, and then, just had to mine my way through deals and people that were so against what I was trying to do and what I was trying to get at, and I couldn't even explain it to myself at the time. I just knew that it wasn't right, and I was in a constant state of resistance. So when I finally wrote Balls to Be a Woman, it was a statement that I ain't even trying to do anything with y'all anymore because you're a middleman. And I'm trying to connect with people that I know go through what I go through in their own way every day. And that's when Nancy Griffith found me, is when I wrote Balls to Be a Woman. And golly, what a gift she was to me.
That's cool. She's a gift to all of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so Elizabeth, as we talked about on this particular podcast, one of the things we like to do is share with people how they can be a part of it and help others. We live in Nashville, so we all have probably at least 100 musician friends in our lives, right? And they experience things like you're talking about, like you've been through and you've fought against. What are resources out there for musicians, or ways a regular person can support someone that's on your journey?
Yeah, I mean, one thing is and I say this on the radio show a lot, and it's not just for myself, it's about if there's any artist that we play on here that you like a lot, go buy shit off their website. Probably same for you guys, front porch at af.com, go buy the
www.
http is to do that. Go to the shows, stay engaged online with those folks, comment on their post. Just engage and participate back, and I think those are the ways that make me at least feel viable, and that I'm actually connected with other people, and this matters, and this is my fuel. So it's really important.
That's cool. That's an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
Is it time?
I think so. You have the clock. You have the fucking
Well,
clock.
I have it.
Look, and it's turned around backwards, isn't it?
It is turned around backwards, but it is time.
Okay.
What happens now?
We have to wind down. But before we wind down, we go through the thing. Elizabeth, who is a musician, we don't have a license to play music during the podcast, the audio podcast portion, but we do for video. And if Elizabeth has graciously said that she will stick around after the audio portion of the podcast is finished, and maybe play a song for us?
Sure.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And as a northerner, I say bless your heart, and I mean it in a nice way.
That's so nice. I sense that. And shout out to IU, by the way, who's killing us here in the college football playoffs, which nobody saw coming. And I watched the game with Oregon the other night and thought, this team is AI. How is this even real? But look forward to seeing what happens with Miami.
Oh, that's the 19th. I actually am keeping my ESPN $29. Yes, just so that I can watch that one game.
As soon as it's over, I get $70 a month back.
All right, yeah, let's spend it. Well, thank you, Elizabeth Cook.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. Y'all are amazing. So much fun. Thank you guys. And to be at D's, what a perfect place to be. I love it.
So, what do we have coming up, Kelly, in the pipeline?
We're doing more shows.
Yeah, no, this is the end of Front Porch AF. Thanks you, bye. No, our next show coming
we got
up.
Megan Palmer coming up.
Megan Palmer, who is a nurse, and she's going to talk about nursing and healing music.
That's right.
And
wait for
You're not
it.
going to believe this one. Go
Sue?
ahead, Kelly.
Sue's getting a gun.
I'm getting a gun.
So we've gone to gun class together.
We went to gun lessons, and I'm going to go to the carry lessons.
And we have our instructor coming to join us.
Yes, I'm going
to
to
give
talk
us a
about
blow
gun
by blow.
safety, responsible gun ownership,
Nice shot.
and even in Tennessee. And yes, I'm going to get a lockbox.
Yes, you are getting a
She's
lockbox.
going to get the combination and not to give it to me.
That would be the whole. Put it in my gun safe. How about that?
Yeah. And so, okay, now comes, this is Kelly's portion where she tells you about all the ways you can keep up with us. Kelly?
We're on all the social media platforms except.
Oh, and this is where Mark drops
places
in
there.
the tweet.
Yeah, we don't do that one.
But we are on
do.
TikTok.
TikTok, Instagram,
YouTube. We have-
Facebook, YouTube.
I figured all of this out.
Sue is the tech guru. She's our techie. Thank you, Sue, for all of your IT skills.
Old dogs, new tricks. Yeah. Okay. So we did that, and please tell your friends. Please follow us on the socials. Hit
Follow
like,
Elizabeth Cook on the
subscribe.
socials.
Yes, and
Listen
follow
to Apron
Elizabeth.
Strings.
Elizabeth-cook.com.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
that's
And
cool.
all of the links and all of that stuff will be on the website. And our website again is
www.frontporchaf.com.
Okay, now this is where. So until next time. Okay, it says Kelly right there. It says Kelly.
When we gather on our audio front porch and grab a drink.
And
to solve
all the problems of the world.
Cheers, y'all.
Guys,
I swear I'm trying to rehabilitate. I've said and told strangers what I contemplate. I open the drawers, thrown out the razors. I walk straight through the emotional craters. I've kissed goodbyes. I talk till I cry at times. Nobody was on my side. And I made big plans and I changed my mind. There's all kinds of women I'm not the easy kind. I hear you many Where there's been a fall, there'll be a bruise. Oh, Southern girl, got nothing to lose. I got nothing to lose. While listening goodbyes, I talk till I cry. At times, nobody was on my side. And I made big plans, and I changed my mind. There's all kinds of women, the easy kind, the easy kind. That's the title track of the film, and I guess I'll just maybe reveal a few new ones because I'm just those are the ones I know the best right now since I haven't been touring much. But this is a song I'm going to do that I wrote about the women that helped build the atomic bomb. So they kind of got plucked out of their small towns or mountain areas or wherever and given a train ticket and a promise of, I don't know, $13 a week or something, plus accommodations, to go help with the war effort. And a lot of the young men were already gone, so they had to rely on the women to come work, basically in Oak Ridge, where they didn't know what they were building, but they were building something that would end World War II. So this song is called The Girls of Atomic City. We got muddy boots. We got muddy boots. We got pinpoints for your pain. We got summertime and the rain. We got everything anybody wanna hold on to. Sometimes I like to think about the girls of Atomic City. out on Sunday, and I didn't bring my right throat drops and all that shit. But I'll try and do one more if that's okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's see. Smoking long black Cadillac, engine winding down. Park up on the sidewalk like you own the whole damn town. I hear him talking to some chick. There goes the smoke through thicker haze of southern comfort. Girl, you're hotter than the hinges hanging off the gates of hell. Don't be afraid to turn to me, baby, if he don't treat you well. And by he meant me. So I laughed and I shook his hand, and he laughed a little bit louder as he yelled up at the band, play a train song for me one more round. Make them leave my boots on when they lay me in the ground. I am being runaway locomotive out of my one track mind. And I'm looking for any kind of trouble I can find. Got this old black leather jacket, I got these pack of Marlboro Reds, I got a stash in my own pocket, I got these thoughts in my own head. Right to run until I gotta walk, until I have to crawl. In this moment that I'm in right now ain't nothing else at all. Play a train song for me one more round. Make them leave my boots on the day they lay me down. I am being runaway locomotive out on the one track mind. And I'm looking for any kind of trouble I can find. Now you can pretend that there's an epic Todd Snider harmonica solo right here. In the television blizzard lights, we looked around his place, found him cold there on the sofa, lit a smile upon his face. And though I tried with all my sadness, somehow I could not grieve. For a man that looked to me like he died laughing in his sleep, play a train song for one more round. We made him leave his boots on when they laid him in the ground. He was here on a way locomotive out of his one track mind. And he's looking for any kind of trouble he can find. We'll play a train song, play a train